welcome to the official 20K live stream. Bianca is behind the camera. We're a bit behind schedule today. We're running a little bit behind time, but
putting on my socks.
We are catching up, and it is so hot. I don't know why we decided to film this in the garage today, but alas, we did. So you have to excuse us if we're constantly drinking and sweating. And you're so tall. I can't adjust this chair. Can I bring you down to my level? You're blocking the lovely balloons that we just spent we spent time blowing them up. Bianca blew all these balloons up by herself today.
I used the compressor. So hard.
Bit of a hack.
I need your phone because otherwise I can't read anything.
Yeah, bear with us. It's been a bit of a frantic day today, but we are so pumped for this live stream. We love doing these. A lot of fun to be able to interact with you guys. So we'll give you guys a couple of minutes to find your way in here and for me to figure out how to use technology and be able to read some comments. If you just search the channel.
I'll have a look on this.
I'm not very good with technology, would you guys believe? Well, social media. That's
I'm watching you. Neither am I, apparently. Okay,
we're having a joke today about Snapchat and things, because Bianca was saying her dad is always accidentally saving Snapchats in the history, and I'm like, I do that as well. I'll just be trying to read a conversation I've saved someone's photo again in the group chats.
What he's trying to say is he's just very old.
At least I'm allowed to make those mistakes now that I've turned 31 as of December last year. So
I know.
I'm an old man. Bianca's on her way to becoming old.
T is shush. T Ha says, well done guys, love your work from the New South Wales mid-north coast.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I believe you guys have been having some wild weather over there. Not quite the same as ours, but yeah. And then Brad and Nan Caro said, did you find the thing yet? This is where the numbers live. Yeah, I assume we found the thing.
What's the thing?
And Cameron Ellis says, congrats on 20K, love the D-Max contact from South Africa.
Oh, wow.
That's
a very long distance viewer. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah.
I wonder what time it is over there.
Aussie Camping Adventure says, hello guys, hope you're having a great day. Thank you very much. We are enjoying today, yes.
Except for the heat, man, this summer, is it just us or does it feel like this summer, particularly in WA, has seemed a lot longer and hotter than years have passed?
Yeah.
Maybe we're just getting older and more complainy, but it just feels like it's gone forever and it's so hot, especially when you're trying to film. Out in the sun, it really takes it out of you. Maybe just softening in my old age.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it has definitely been a dry summer over here in WA, but yeah, it's been a bit of a scorcher.
We are pumped for winter camping.
Hanging out, or just winter in general, and winter camping and everything that comes with it should be lovely.
Yeah.
Bad Q Garrett said, awesome, congrats guys, wicked. Thank you. Hugo Walter said, nothing wrong with being old, it's the kids who are doing it wrong.
That's it, exactly right. We've got the wisdom now. We're into the wisdom.
I feel like we're in that annoying point where we feel old, but we don't have the wisdom yet. So I don't know, it's just that mediocre.
It's clueless with sore bodies.
Yep. I will try and keep up. There's quite a few comments coming through. Charlotte said, congrats on the 20K subs. Thank you.
Thank you so much. She's a long-term viewer.
Oh, there you go, Tia also said, we had about 12 mil in 8 minutes. It was moist.
Oh.
Yep, and I bet it was still hot.
We haven't had that all summer in total, probably?
No, we've had very little rain over here. It's been very, very dry. So, yeah, I feel like it's going to be a dry winter. James. Hello, James.
James.
I said, love the channel. Hope we get to meet you guys on the track sometime. I think we'll get along.
Very good mate of mine. You might have seen James on his Colorado rig rundown. Things are a bit different in his vehicle department now, so we're going to have to get him back on the channel. If you're keen, James, do another rig rundown.
We'll have to do another one.
Things are very different now.
Yep. Len said, hi from Kuala Lumpur. Wow.
Oh, that's a nice message from James there as well.
Oh, P.S. Daniel is quite attractive.
Thank
you. He is, isn't he? Yes.
We've got a bit of competition, Bianca.
I've given up competing with James. He wins. And then Steve said, congrats on the 20K, guys. Talk of the PS James Hill / hashtag Team Bianca. Yeah, go me.
Yes.
But yeah, no, awesome.
Anyway, thank you guys. Yeah, thank you for all your comments already flooding in. It means so much to us. And without you guys subscribing and following along and watching these videos would be nowhere near where we are now. So it's because of you guys we get to continue making these videos. We get to hit crazy numbers like this, which we never thought we'd get there. 20K is insane.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like that long ago when I was like, we're getting close to 1,000. It's like, what should we do to celebrate 1,000?
Yeah. And then it was like, wow, 2,000. And then I don't remember when we hit 10K.
We did an impromptu live stream when we hit 10K. It was about a year ago.
Yeah,
it was in the garage as well. We also got balloons.
Yep.
And we didn't even give you guys warning for that. We're just like, live stream, we're on.
It was a bit like, oh, wow, we should do something. Let's do this and go for it. This time we had a bit more prep because we sort of knew that 20K was coming up. Although, as you can see, we only just got balloons today, and that's Daniel's
Do you like my colour choice?
This is what he comes back with when he is sent out to the shops without me.
They were sold out of silver, so I was like, well, this is better than nothing.
Except for the K, which apparently is a different size.
Yeah.
But doesn't
So
matter.
it's like 20K. Just
20K.
20 subscribers.
But it works. So,
Yeah, maybe every 10K we can pick a new colour, and that can be the representation of the next milestone, can be the colour we choose. So right now it's a pinky / purple.
One day we'll get super fancy and actually get like Explore Bound coloured, like the orange, orange Explore Bound.
That can be 100 if we ever get there.
well, that's a long way away. Reading through the comments, congrats on the 20K. Driest wet season on record north of Broome, Outback Outlaw.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy. It's definitely been dry. Andrew Newey said, love your content, keep it coming. Hopefully I'll have a D-Max for myself towards the end of the year.
Awesome.
Yes, go to the
Good
D-Maxes.
choice.
We do like ours.
We were just talking today, actually, like this car has been so reliable for what we've been wanting to do. And like, it's not like dual cab forward drives aren't typically like a, like a heavy duty off-road vehicle. They're more for touring. But for the stuff that we've done, this is really, it's never got us stuck. It's got us everywhere we needed to go. Pleased us in a lot of cases where we weren't sure how we were going to tackle certain off-road obstacles.
We've never felt limited or held back by it.
It's probably just our driving that holds us back, if
yeah,
anything, really.
and obviously you don't want to scrape up your car. So there's some places where, you probably could get up, but you might,
You're right, actually.
flash the canopy or something along the way.
The only limiting factor right now is the sill protection down the sides, purely because we just haven't allocated the budget to, and I don't need them for getting into the vehicle. And I like watching Bianca try and jump in. So, there's a lot of pros and cons with upgrading certain parts of a vehicle. Also, I'll just jump in and say quickly, if I'm sounding a bit weird, I'm just recovering from a myriad of like colds, and it's been a pretty rough week for me.
Daniel's been a bit unwell.
Yeah,
He's good now.
Yeah, so I might have been a bit quiet on most social media fronts in the last week or so, but feeling pretty good today. My voice is a little bit affected still, and I might cough here and there.
Please don't cough on me. Cough
Bianca's a bit of a germaphobe, so we've been sleeping in separate rooms.
I cannot afford to get sick. I'm halfway through term 1 of teaching, so I really don't want a cold right now. Because if I get a cold, I still have to go to work, because that's just what we do. Not like
some of us are just unemployed, so it doesn't matter.
Flu, you can just lie up in bed here. But
if I'm sick, I don't get paid, so,
Well, whose fault is that? It's your boss. Talk to him.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough guy, that boss. Doesn't give me much time off.
Who else have we got? Anthony Tissa said, woohoo, 20K, I'm sure 100K in no time. Congrats. Thank you.
Just crazy
I think
to think about.
100K is just honestly still not even, like, I can't wrap my mind around it. I can barely, I just cannot picture 20,000 people in one room. So even 20,000 just seems like
I couldn't even picture 1,000 back in the day. Now it's the number now is already too much for us to really process, but we are appreciative of every single one of you. So
definitely.
Yeah, there might be some people who are fresh to the channel that are potentially watching this. Who have contributed to us clocking over 20,000. So if that's you, welcome. I hope you guys have been enjoying the channel so far. If you're a long-term viewer, hope you continue to enjoy the channel and we continue to bring you guys the content that you initially signed up for. I know this channel has a bit of a mix of content. That's my own doing and my own interest, because I don't typically like just one thing. I like camping, I like the DIY stuff, I enjoy reviewing bits and pieces, installing stuff and just sharing our thoughts on camping and forward driving. So you'll always find a bit of a mix of this, that and everything, although there will be a bit of a single focus over the next few months, I imagine, but we'll leave that there.
Daniel's in a hyperfixation right now, rightly so.
Poor Bianca's been listening to me coming out all hours
I'm very bored of it already. I'll just keep going through some of these before they get too far ahead of me. Bad Q Garage said, smash that thumbs up, people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Outback Outlaw said, sup, Dave. I assume you're talking to someone else, but awesome. Hello, Dave, whoever you are. Andrew McKenzie said, claps. Awesome. Andrew Caldwell, was the marketplace listing a hoax?
I was wondering who / if anybody was going to spot that, and he actually messaged me on Facebook Marketplace about something I may or may not have been listing. Let's just say no, that wasn't a hoax. And if you were lucky enough, not lucky enough, if you happen to see the listing, then you guys might have more information than the rest of people.
You may do.
But something is coming for the channel very shortly, which is going to mean a lot of content. And that's probably as vague as I'll intentionally leave it for now.
You watch, he'll just open his mouth later and blow it all out.
But hopefully you guys are keen for that. I am so keen. Bianca is already sick of it, but you guys are...
No, I am happily excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a big... something big's coming for the channel, for us.
Definitely.
That should be good. Let's just leave it there.
Moving on. Diane said, so proud. Well done, guys.
Thank you. That's my
Thank you,
mum.
Diane. That sounds really weird to call you Diane. Thanks, Di. Jeff retracted the message. Awesome.
Ooh.
David Moore said, good work, 100. Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, we could I guess touch on what the rest of the year has in store in terms of trips. Maybe
Yeah,
that might
sure.
be something worth mentioning. So we've got a big one that we're both pretty excited
Yeah,
about.
the biggest one that's coming up is in the middle of the year. That'll be our Gib River Road. We are doing a 2-week trip. It is all booked and ready to go.
That's 2 weeks on the actual Gib River Road track itself.
Yes.
There's going to be obviously a lot of time to get to the start and then even longer to get from the end back to Perth. We're doing it west to east.
When I say it's all ready and booked, I mean nothing is booked yet.
2 things are booked.
But 2 things are booked, which is my flight to the place and from the place, because I will be flying up and then flying back because we're doing it smack bang at the start of the my July holidays, June, July. So I'll be taking the last few days off of term sneakily.
As a lot of you guys know, Bianca's a high school teacher, so her time off is limited in that sense. So we're just trying to weigh up whether we try and blitz the track and then we both drive up to and from together, because we both do enjoy travelling together, and I'm sure Bianca would like to be part of that.
And I learned a lot about batteries and 12-volt systems.
Or we spend a bit more time to thoroughly see the track, which is our preference, but that just means Bianca won't have the time to drive up and back with me. So I'll be doing that solo. Me and the D-Max will be driving to and from the Gib River Road by myself, or with you guys, I should say. Me and 20,000 other people will be cruising up and back, and Bianca will fly in.
I will be flying over the top, and I'll wave to him as I pass over at the last minute, and I'll just land and be ready to go waiting for my suitcase. It's just going to be a really weird feeling and very surreal, but my flights are booked, and touch wood that I get cancelled, otherwise we'll figure that out.
We're going to be doing that trip with Bianca's brother and his partner and their kids. So
so doing like a little bit of trip. It's always good to do a big trip like that with someone else, just in case anything goes wrong. But in saying that, we have been trying to organise it, but we've just been so...
We have a rough idea of what we're doing. That's Bianca's brother Ben, by the way. You might remember him from his rig rundown of the mighty blue GQ Patrol.
Which is not the car he'll be bringing along the Gib River Road.
I don't know what he's bringing. He's in between cars, or he's got multiple cars right now.
No idea what he's bringing, but we'll find out soon enough. I do believe he's taking a camper trailer though, because that's how his family exists. That sounds weird. Yep, they live in a camper trailer.
So we are absolutely pumped for that trip. We've been talking about doing this for years. It only loosely came into planning at the Full Drive show last year.
That's when Daniel, everyone was asking like, oh, so like have you got big trips planned? And then Daniel was like, oh yeah, we might do Gib River Road. And then I was like, oh, okay, cool, this is news to me. And then we were just started, both of us by the end of the weekend, we were just like, yeah, we're doing Gib River Road.
It got planned in that Full Drive show weekend, because it's something we always wanted to do, and we'd loosely planned. So it started by saying like, oh yeah, we're talking about doing that. And by the end it's like, we're doing the Gib River Road, it's going to be a 2-week trip, we're leaving this, we're doing it in July, Bianca's school holidays.
And it just went from there. So we're like, all right, well, let's do it. Because honestly, if you don't just commit and say, we're doing this, then it just never happens. We'll be like, oh yeah, we should do that. Oh, but and then it just never happens. So,
and there's never going to be like a perfect time to take time off of your work commitments or business commitments.
No. Oh, wow.
What was that?
I don't know. Hang on. Sorry, there's Becky goes, hey, really good to see you on here.
Oh my goodness.
Outback Outlaw just said a couple of cups of coffees for you. It's great
contact. I didn't even know that was an option. Thank you so much.
You could do that. I don't know how you've done that. I don't even know what that is.
Man, thank you so much. That's really appreciated, man. I really appreciate that.
Unexpected, but thank you. And sorry, I didn't even notice. I was just sitting here talking. Anthony just said, any planned trips to Victoria? We'll get back to that.
We'll return to that in a second or two.
Outback Outlaw, been watching your trip to Nam. No idea what that is, but I'm assuming it says someone else. Scratch 4 adventure, such a super effort, and look forward to all your new content in the future. Yeah, thank you. New joy, always enjoy, never wait. Never wait. Hey, you always got to go.
They go Dampier Peninsula Caravan Park. That's Outback Outlaw.
Outback Outlaw. If you're heading to the Dampier Peninsula, let me know. I can give you a discount at our caravan park campground.
Okay, good to know.
Oh, okay.
Yep, awesome.
Jarringen? I don't know how to Jarringen. I don't like these words. That's a place. Back here, highly recommend getting up to that place and hit up Outback Outlaw. He's a man that would make a terrific video. I do know how to take a screenshot. There you go.
Because sometimes we found with these live streams, we'll come back afterwards and the comments will be gone unless you like watch it back in real time. So I just thought we'll screenshot that so we have that there.
Outback at the Ore Shucks van. Bad Q Garage, that's real money too. Andrew Cole, did
Yeah.
Bianca get any high fives from her students on the rock lights install?
Ah, that's a good question. Anyone?
And Gabby Hall said, what have you done to the D-Max to tackle the Gib River Road?
Oh,
That's a good question.
nothing yet, but there is so much to do. I've got secondary fuel filters to install, a massive alternator potentially going in at some point in the future. Probably bigger fuel tank. I'm going to chuck a big water tank underneath the car as well. The list goes on, plus a million other things, no doubt. It's going to be a bit of a Carry Genie V 2.0 in terms of modifying the vehicle right up until we head off, I reckon.
Yeah, always leave things to the last minute.
Yeah.
It's just the way it turns out somehow.
But every step of that procedure will be filmed and shared with you guys in some capacity on YouTube, which is going to make it take longer, but it motivates me to get out there and actually start doing stuff with the car.
That's for sure.
It keeps my quality of work nice and high, or at least as high as I can do it, not professional level, but as good as I can do it.
Sorry, to go back, there was another question. Did I get any high fives from my students? No, I actually keep it quite on the down low that my partner here has a lovely YouTube channel. I don't hide it, but I also just don't, what do you call it?
Sing it from the rooftops.
I don't advertise it or anything.
Some have found out.
Yeah,
but they're respectful.
Some people have just stumbled across it and they might be like, oh my God, I saw you on YouTube and stuff. So yeah, I kind of just like, keep, nobody knows. It's a little secret.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's purely just because, as a teacher, you like to kind of keep some sort of a wall between your private life and school life and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not too fussed, but at the end of the day,
we're pretty
really care.
not careful, but the stuff we put out where we make sure we're proud for anybody and everybody to see it, so it's not too much of a concern for us.
It's always definitely tough because obviously when we started this, I was just working on the mines and I didn't have to really worry about my own reputation as far as, in my profession, it didn't really matter, but as a teacher, it definitely does. You need to really watch what your reputation is online and stuff. So that's something we've had to think about. It's just an extra spin that you're like, oh crap, now I've actually got to think about this. But luckily enough, we're pretty, I still stay honest as, I'm never going to hide who I am or anything. So I just have to try to remember not to swear too much.
It's just more work for me to do beeping, really.
I'm getting better. I am getting better. And another question we had before was, are we doing any trips over to Victoria?
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, first, the biggest thing that comes to my mind, am I allowed to say that now?
Yeah, it's still tentative, so nothing's locked in.
Not locked in, but looking very positive, is that we are wanting to do a big lap around Australia next year in 2025.
The dream, right? The dream.
Really cool, yeah. So we're super excited. I know we've alluded to it in the past and probably said that we might or might not. But yeah, at the moment it's looking really promising.
What is thinking about it? It just makes, I know you shouldn't do this because it makes sense, but it's been a dream of both of ours for years, and we're in a position now where it's more possible than it would be for most, I suppose, and we're extremely fortunate in that sense that we would be able to make videos and essentially continue working, for lack of a better word, during that time that is going to contribute to fuel. Obviously, it's in no stretch of the imagination is that going to cover the costs that would be involved in a trip like that, but it is a nice contributing factor to making that more possible than it might be for other people, really. So
yeah, and it's one of those things where like, you kind of, it feels like we'd be crazy not to, because like when else can you actually do a lap around Australia and have that as part of your job where, we can film it and do that work along the way and try and make it work, which is something we really enjoy, but also happens to be like Daniel's not sole business, but like, a huge part of your business now. So
well, it's what's birthed the business, so it's good to
a lot of things to sort out, considering, especially because we're already in March now. So if we were to do it, we would hopefully this time next year be already on the road. So we've got a lot of work to do to try and organise that. Yeah,
getting the car ready for the Gib River Road will be part and parcel of setting the car up for much longer trips. So you guys can expect a lot of content around redoing a lot of things to get the vehicle ready to not just do weekend trips or a couple of weeks here and there, but to be actually lived out of for very extended periods of time.
We're going to be building it for longevity as well as quality and also just livability. Like there's so many things about our current setup that we have been wanting to change for ages. So yeah, it's kind of like if we're going to do a lap around Australia, I refuse to live out of those stupid plastic drawers ever again. I'm not doing that for a full lap. Like, just no. That needs
and
to
that's
be
fair
fixed.
enough, because it frustrates us after 2 weeks. And maybe we're just being a bit soft there, because people do laps in old Commodore Utes, so like you can get by with anything. It's just
you can. But
we like things to be a certain level of
we're gonna
organisation.
do it in style and comfort. So, but anyway, hopefully that means we will be getting over east. We just don't know when we don't know which way we're going to go yet, and we don't know when we're going to be anywhere. So that has not been planned at all, other than we want to do that.
So if you guys have any tips, both for the lap next year or more immediately for the Gib River Road, let us know anything we might not have heard about that are must-sees, especially for the Gib, or things we might not have thought of. Let us know, chuck us a message. All information is welcome. We are not flying blind, but this is uncharted territory for us for both of those things that we're absolutely pumped about. But yeah, that's what's coming soon.
Yeah. Sorry, to keep going, we've got Bergson said, congrats, you know what they say, 20K and you're away.
Ooh.
I don't know, I haven't heard it, but I'm sure it's...
I'll take it.
Yeah, it's, we'll take that. Blunt Object, that's a weird name, but cool. Congratulations on the 20K.
Thank you.
Outback Outlaw said, just had my Ocam 6mm bash plates turn up. Can't wait to slap them on. Very nice.
That's actually something else I need to invest in for the D-Max. It's only got a small little factory bash plates. We don't typically do much that kind of whacks the underside too bad, but we might find ourselves in those situations next year if we end up traveling remotely.
Yep. Brandon, I've seen you sold the canopy.
Oh, interesting.
Brandon said that. Cool. Don't know where you saw that, but awesome.
You mean this canopy?
Yes, the canopy we have right here. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? It's still here. Ashwell, wish I did a trip before kids. I think I'll have to wait for the kids to get a bit older before we do a big trip like that. Good on you both.
Thank you.
Brandon said, I have an MRT Explorer package on the way. And
also congratulations.
Well
nice
done.
choice.
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah.
Look, they're really good canopies, and we're not just saying that because... well, we have one, but like they're just really good.
Well, just like, I mean, and we are ecstatically happy with this, but canopy setups in general, it's very hard to go back once you've had one. Like this is, like we've had them since the original one on the Ford Ranger many years ago, before the channel even began. And once you get exposed to that, I guess it depends on your personality style as well, but for me, having that customization possibilities and be able to build something that really suits your needs, it's quite addictive, and it's quite hard to then go back to something that's more limiting in terms of like a wagon four-wheel drive that opens just, you know, the one door, or
I think I would get really annoyed trying to go back to living out of a wagon or something. Like I remember, like, I mean, we lived out of the old Pajero for a while, but even that, like, we kind of set that up so that the back door was it was just one big swing away door, and we had a little kitchen table on that. We had the drawers, and it was just like, that was the beginning, really. We still lived in the ground tent then, though, so.
Yeah, very true.
We did.
I mean, you make it work, and you see some pretty awesome customization that people have done to wagon four-wheel drives, so you can do it any way you want, but just for us, or for me personally, canopy setups just really give me that unlimited customization options.
Riley McDonald said, yeah, the boys.
Yes, so Bianca, just out of the way.
Yep, I'll just leave. Lifeline said, congrats, will you ever do a meet and greet?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how we'd go about that, but...
To be honest, we've just never considered it because we still see ourselves as just the everyday human being. So it's just like, who would want to meet us?
Very much so. I guess the closest we've come in the past, and probably will in the next year or so, is the four-wheel drive shows. So we were at the Perth 4x4 show last year in November, and that was amazing. We were not expecting the turnout we got. I got to chat to a lot of you guys, some that I've seen in the comment section right here.
One of the best weekends, I reckon. Like, oh my God, it was stinking hot. Holy Lord, that was
humid.
And then
it poured the rain on the Sunday. It was so weird.
But that was actually one of the best weekends. Just getting to see you guys like face to face, and like, granted, I'm terrible with names. I can't remember my own name most of the time, but like, you know, we got to meet some people who we knew were long-time channel viewers, and also meeting people that, you know, were pretty new to the channel. But it was just so good to, you know, start putting faces to names and putting like, wow, some of the numbers in the comments that we see through, like, here they are as like a real person in front of us.
It just makes it real, exactly, because it's one thing to, you know, see the comments, and we appreciate every single one of them, but then to actually like, oh, there's someone standing in front of me that is someone who's watched the videos in the channel and has appreciated them. So that was huge for us, and we're definitely keen to get back to the shows this year. I say
100%.
Shows because there's a chance we might get over, or me at least, to do the Melbourne and potentially Sydney 4x4 shows. That's still up in the air, definitely not guaranteed, but it's something we'd like to do if the opportunity arises.
Something we're looking at.
But we'll definitely do Perth again, WA again.
100% we'll be in Perth this year. And next year, if we do travel around Australia, we'll definitely be trying to get to some of those big four driving shows if it works in with, the lap.
Yeah. And if you guys have any ideas for meet and greets or, I don't know, I guess insights as to how they've happened or how you've attended them in the past with other people, let us know.
What works, let us know.
It's all new to us, so we're happy to do stuff like that.
You kind of get a bit of imposter syndrome, when people are like, oh, like, let's do a meet and greet, and it's really nerve-wracking because you're like, oh, like, you don't want to let people down, but it'd be really fun, but also like, oh my God, like, what if nobody turns up? But then what if people actually turn up? It's this whole thing. But we do really enjoy it, so that's good. Also, as a little side note, Daniel and myself will actually be at Anaconda.
Oh, I completely forgot to mention that. You're right.
Anaconda this coming Wednesday. It's now Monday, so in 2 days' time. Wednesday
so they've
night.
invited us along just to attend. They're doing an opening night at their Melville store, Anaconda Melville.
They already have an Anaconda store there. How are they doing an opening night?
Oh no, it's not opening night. Like an open day,
we're closed. Look, we're opening again.
Doing a very bad job of this. Think of it as just like a club night. Am I calling it? I don't know. It's on their Facebook page, and we'll be there.
Anyway, Anaconda Melville store this Wednesday. What's the date today? The 5th, 4th,
It's the
5th, 6th.
so
So
the
the 6th of March.
6 till 9 p.m.
Yep.
We will be there.
We will with a car and a canopy
So if you guys are in the area and you want to pop down to say hi, you will be some of the first people to see something new.
Shut up.
Okay.
And it's I'm just words happen.
Words.
But anyway, continue on. So Travel Soul said, I thought this feed was 20k giveaway when it popped up.
Yeah.
I wish. I would be like, hey, where's my share?
That's how we get the clicks,
Clickbait.
Free money. Click here.
The thumbnail is probably just you being like, look, 20k.
What did I call it? Like 20k live stream.
I have no idea.
Anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
No, sorry, no money to give away.
We don't have any money. Jesse Edwards, how do you go getting the D-Max with canopy and rooftop tent on to fit in the garage?
So when I designed this house, I had the garage raised like, I don't know.
Designed this house? That sounds super fancy.
When this house was being designed, I requested the garage to have the increased height. So I think they just go like one course of brick higher than standard. Thank God I did, because it just fits in by like a centimetre or two. It was the reason that I chose the roof mounting system that's on the canopy setup. It's got those little T channels, because it means I can mount the tent essentially 1 centimetre off the roof of the canopy, whereas normally you'd have either some roof racks or some more custom roof platforms, and that just wouldn't work for our height and the particular tent that we've got right now.
To be honest, like our garage door and probably a lot of sliding garage doors, they've got like this little V-shaped bit of metal right in the middle, and like we can't put the canopy in the middle of the garage because it hits, like it'll actually hit that little bit that comes down. So we can only park it on like the right or the left. So it is really, really tight.
Yeah.
It's squishy.
But the fact that it fits in at all is great. So I'm very, very happy about that, because having to leave it on the driveway, and not just leave it on there for storage, but even for working on it on the driveway, would just be quite annoying.
Plus it's in the weather, and I detail cars, so I'm like, no, my paintwork.
Yeah.
Although now I don't care about the D-Max's paintwork. It's got too many scratches beyond me.
Oh, that's pretty bad. Yeah.
It's really bad.
It's pretty bad.
But yeah, so there you go. It just fits. Andrew Caldwell, Perth 4 drive show this year? Yep, definitely. Outback Outlaw, I couldn't make the Perth show, plan to this year and drive down. Yeah, awesome.
Awesome,
Look,
hope to see you there.
It's a good event. It looks like a lot of fun. The only thing we wish was that we got more time to walk around and have a look, because we were so busy we didn't get a lot of time.
Yeah, we'd like duck out to grab a bite of food and come back, and there's a few people like hanging around the setup. It's like, oh, it's got food. Get back into chatting.
Keep talking.
You don't want to disappoint people.
But yeah, no, definitely we'll be down there. John Heddle said, congrats on your 20k. Love you guys on your channel. We love travelling WA and the South Coast and really appreciated your local knowledge. Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm from reading that, I feel like you're not from WA. I don't know how you read that, but either way, I'm glad that our local knowledge could help you somewhat. Yeah. Definitely. There's so much of WA that we still haven't even seen ourselves, honestly. I mean, Australia's pretty massive, but...
We're still yet to get to Esperance, so we had planned that over New Year's break.
Sort of there.
But the weather was just like, we wanted to... we're not weather-dependent campers by a long stretch, but we were already in Bremer Bay, and we're like, you know what, the weather doesn't look the greatest to do the extra 2 hours to get to Esperance. There's tons to see in Bremer
Yeah, I
Bay.
was gonna
Let's
say.
save Esperance for a time when we can actually dedicate a week of nice, pristine weather and try and make the most of it.
We were kind of, and it wasn't just the weather. We were also like, oh, there's so many little tracks and beaches and nooks and crannies like before you get to Esperance, so like west of Esperance, that we were like, oh, we really want to like explore all those. And we started exploring. We're like, oh my, we could spend like 2 weeks here.
Yeah.
And so then we made the decision. We're like, you know what? Let's not try to make it to Esperance. Let's
And
just
also, if
enjoy
that
this
was-
section, and we'll come back, and it gives us an excuse to go down there again and keep going.
That was
So,
one of the best trips too. Like,
Oh, we
I
had
don't know,
so
I had-
much fun.
I had a ball on that trip.
yeah, that was really probably one of the best camping trips we've done.
Yeah.
It was really good. Yeah.
Even from a filming perspective too, because we kind of went into that. We weren't sure if we were going to film that particular trip because we thought sometimes at the end of the year we like to do a camping trip or two off camera to try and reset and unwind a little bit. For that one, we're like, you know what? We'll bring the cameras. If we feel like inspired, we'll get them out and start shooting some clips. And we ended up filming probably more than we normally would, but less in the same way, because normally what we would do is like, I'm quite particular in what I'm like, in how I'm speaking and things like that, and how I'm presenting. So if I film something and I think I can do better, I'll roll again. And what that can mean is we'll come back with like hours and hours of footage, but a lot of that will be like, good morning, oh, we're at camp. And there might be like a few goes of that because I've stuffed a word up.
It drives me insane.
But for this trip, we're like, you know what, let's just film it as it goes and just
Yeah.
see what we can make out of it. And I'm actually probably more proud of how those episodes turned out than any in the past. That's probably a bit of a learning curve
And
for
it was
us
like,
there.
we're starting to approach these trips now knowing that we really do want to be able to film our way around Australia, and knowing that you just don't have the time to A, film multiple takes, and B, to then edit through all those takes. So like this was a bit of a trial as well to be like, can we actually just get away with the bare minimum and still make it doable and enjoyable and a good content, good quality for you guys to
Yeah.
watch, and for us to be proud of. And yeah, it was really good. So we were nicely, pleasantly surprised, and for me especially, because I'm a stickler in that, like, I just wing everything if it's on camera. Like, I rarely script stuff, which is why the videos that I do are just all over the place, because I hate scripting.
This
I
is a
get
horse.
so bored. Shush. People like my videos.
I like your videos.
But yeah, so it used to drive me insane when Daniel would be like, no, I'm going to do that take again. I'd be like,
It's like, it's too waffly, we need to condense
perfectly
it.
fine. Like, oh my God, stop, you know, but like, we've come a long way since then.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, you also get better at presenting, so you don't make as many mistakes, or if you do, you kind of learn how to get through them on the fly. So definitely, like every now and then we'll go back and watch like one of the first videos, and it's not like cringy, but you do watch and you're like, oh my God, like thank God we've actually improved.
So we're forever not like I was trying to get better, and I guess that is what it is. But we're very open to learning and like
Yes.
reflecting on what we can do better,
Yeah.
not from a self-deprecating perspective, but purely
No,
because we
just like
love what
a-
we do in this sense. Like, oh, we could approach it this way, and that might be the ticket.
Yeah, you know,
and-
like we love watching. Like at the moment, I go throrough like phases, and at the moment I'm in this phase where I'm actually really enjoying watching
4-wheel drive 24/7.
Two-wheel 47. Two-wheel drive, no. 4-wheel drive
There's a
47.
rival channel.
It's like two-wheel drive.
Yeah, their content's fantastic. Yeah.
And just because, like, obviously it's very entertaining and they're huge, and yes, everyone knows them. But it's really interesting to watch it from a creator's creator's perspective, because
Yeah,
you're like,
like
oh
see
wow,
how
like,
they tie
that's how
things
they've
together.
edited those together, and that's those shots, and you start to get ideas, and it's really fun to watch those and see some cool shots, and then be like, when we're out camping, be like, oh, let's see if we can get like a similar drone shot, like, you know,
Yeah.
see if we can do that kind of thing. And yeah, it's a lot of learning. So you learn a lot from watching other channels, and we learn a lot from you guys. So like comments we get back, it's very good to nice feedback, I guess. We
Absolutely.
could talk for hours about that. It's a pretty big
Yeah.
passion of ours.
Also, you might notice we're filming this live stream back on the phone, just like the good old days. I'm not sure how many of you guys tuned in for the Christmas giveaway live stream, where we're like, let's be fancy. We rigged up the proper camera.
We
Then
looked good.
It overheated halfway through, and we lost the live stream and had to finish it like with the phone in our hand.
We learned from that.
So-
We were like, you know what, our phone does perfectly fine. Let's just
Yeah.
use that.
Yeah.
And here it is, working perfectly fine.
So hopefully it's looking fine for you guys and sounding fine. Okay, we have.
I'm sure the
chucked
colours
the
are
mics on.
not at all to Daniel's standards, but that's fine. But reading through some more of these comments, sorry, where was I up to? Congrats on your 20k, guys. Oh, yep, da-da-da. Brandon said, chassis mount canopy is my guess if the marketplace sale is true, haha.
Okay.
Riley McDonald, actual question. I have a very similar setup on my Hilux, and its weight, and and it is weight to yours. How does the GVM upgrade feel? Honestly, I've got a 2-inch lift on 500 constant leafs. Will I notice a huge difference? That's a question for you.
Let me read that again.
Yeah,
though.
sorry.
So, very similar setup height. So I'm guessing you're saying the weight is similar to yours.
On John Heddle, you're from South
Now?
Australia. PS love Bremer. Bremer Bay is amazing. So good down there.
So
Sans, thank you,
if
Dad.
your weight is the same as mine and you already have the 2-inch lift, and I think what you're asking is if you then add the GVM upgrade as well? Is that what that question means?
I don't know.
So the GVM upgrade doesn't change the feel at all. It's purely just engineering for the suspension lift they put in. At least that's what mine was. So if I went for a Pettis 2-inch lift or I went for the Pettis 2-inch lift and GVM upgrade, it's essentially the same. It's just the engineering certificate on one of those two options and the extra price tag as well, of course. If you're saying yours is factory standard and you're looking at putting a GVM upgrade suspension kit in instead, so this has, I think this only has 400 kilogram constant leafs in the rear. The ride, when the canopy's lifted off, bumpy as hell, almost undrivable on the road.
Very jarring.
But once you've loaded the weight up to match the weight of those springs, mine's a touch over, so really I should have 500 kilogram constant leafs as well on the back of mine, because that canopy is about 500 kilos with the rooftop tent. It rides really well. We're pretty happy with it. Granted, we are, like, our comparison is just from another dual cab ute with upgraded suspension as well, so we're not comparing it to like a nice coil sprung rear end Patrol or something like that. It's going to be a lot more bumpy than that configuration, but for what it is, we're quite happy. We find it handles really well on the road, sits nice and flat, it's not too jarringly bouncy over bumps, and we're just, pretty happy all round when the appropriate weight is placed onto those springs. That's the key there.
Yeah, and I think at least from a passenger perspective and driving perspective, it's really good over corrugations in that, like, corrugations are going to be bumpy no matter what, but it recovers very well from them. Like, whereas in the old Ranger that we had, like, the suspension wasn't quite as good, and it would handle them okay, but you'd really get, like, I mean, you still do get the bumps going, but then after the bumps have stopped, you're still kind of, petering out. Whereas, the suspension we've got now seems to really still work well.
Yeah, and the fact these modern dual cabs it's still independent front suspension, but they're coil sprung instead of torsion bars, that has helped as well at giving us a bit more comfort than the old torsion bar Ford Ranger we used to have. Yeah.
Sorry, so, yep. Oh, yeah, so John, West from South Australia, PS love Bremer. Yeah, Bremer's amazing. So I said Anaconda Medical, this Wednesday, 6 to 9 p.m, put it in your calendar.
There you go. Yes.
Like a little moderator. Murray Begg, congrats on the growth of your channel from the Gold Coast. Awesome.
Thank you.
God, I can't wait to do the full driving over on the Gold Coast, especially after watching all these full drive 24/7 videos.
We're not going to be doing those tracks.
Aw.
Oh, are you kidding me? Like, break things.
Fun.
I'm not going to break
He
things.
doesn't want to break any. I mean, granted, we're traveling around Australia. I want to break anything either, but still really keen.
We'll do some fun tracks.
I still want to get right up to Cape Perrin.
Well, we can do that in
what is it called again?
in an hour.
Help me.
Cape York.
Thank you. Cape York.
Yeah, I could take it or leave it, to be honest. I feel like, no. Okay, it's definitely one of those like bucket list tracks, but I just feel like everybody's done it now. Like, if we were to do it, I'm not even sure we'd bother filming it.
Oh, I don't know if we film it. I just want to do it for myself.
Yeah.
That's
fair
okay.
enough, yeah.
Anyway, where was I up to? Travel solo. We were in Esperance for New Year's Eve and it was freezing. It felt like Arctic weather.
There you
That's
go.
when we were there. Except
That
we didn't quite go
Bremer.
to Esperance.
Yeah.
So. But it was freezing. Yeah, we didn't get out, but we were in jumpers and trackies like the whole time. It was cold.
We spent our New Year's Day pulling bogs patrols off the beach at 2 a.m.
We're just like chilling up in the tent, kind of trying to see the new year in, it was just like 11:45. Got to like just after midnight and we're like, oh, like Happy New Year. And I was like, okay, going to sleep, good night.
Yeah.
And then we'd been asleep for like maybe an hour and then we hear like this revving and I was like, oh, people just like speeding past us because we were kind of camped behind a dune, but there's a main stretch beach just near us. And long story short, someone was bogged right outside our camp.
You might have seen at the end of one of our Bremer Bay episodes, a bit of not a montage, but we documented it in some capacity there.
Yeah. So we had to get up at, I think it was like 1:30 in the morning or, I can't remember what time it was, but it was early.
Tell you what though, D-Max pulled that big patrol out like an absolute champ. So
yeah.
I was happy with that. We actually ended up having to like pull him the whole way because his front drive line wasn't engaging properly. Like, I think he said he'd been playing around
Basically,
with the
didn't
relay.
have forward drive properly. Like all four wheels were spinning, but it wasn't putting them it wasn't working properly. That was very clear.
So we snatched him out a couple of times, ended up having to like pull him up the beach, spin him around, and like tow him the whole way back to his camp.
At 2 in the morning by that stage, and then we had to go back, and obviously because we're in a rooftop tent, that meant we had to pack down our entire we were in bed, so it was like, all right, get out of bed, pack that down, like quickly pack up our camp enough that we could drive out.
Yeah.
And then we ended up pulling him out, but it was cold that whole weekend, or that we were down there for a week or just under, and it was cold the whole time. And then you got rained on quite a lot, and then we came back to Perth, and it was just oh my god, it's so hot, and it just hasn't stopped being hot.
Yeah. So I just want to jump in and say we did mention on an Instagram story, if you guys had any questions, you could message them through to us.
Oh, yeah.
Someone did that. This is a Toyo Remy Taylor sent us a message. I'm not sure how to really answer this properly, but I did want to address it on here as well. I have a Mitsubishi Outlander. I have a Dune soft top tent mounted to the roof, which is amazing. We love those tents. That's the old soft top. So good. Struggling to find brackets long enough for an awning to mount on the side to give me enough clearance for the rooftop tent. Any suggestions? It's tough to answer not knowing what your roof situation is that the tent's mounted to. I'm going to presume it's just a couple of roof racks, being an Outlander. That's a tough one. So yeah.
Did we have those long extender ones on the Ranger?
So the Ranger had some, so you can jump back to the chat, some essentially they were roof racks built into the canopy roof. They were big square aluminium tubes that were spaced off about an inch from the canopy roof. And the tent kind of just sat in from those. So I just kind of bolted a bracket through those roof racks and the awning attached to the side of those. For yours, I don't really, it's hard to say without knowing if you've got roof racks or not. I'd say...
Someone else in the comments might have an idea otherwise.
Yeah, it depends on how you can mount things to your roof racks. I'd say most brackets should work because they do come with ones that are relatively long. If your roof racks are full width, you might be able to attach that bracket so it hangs over the edge, bolt it through, and hopefully that will just clear your tent, because normally with the way these tents mount, you've got about 2 centimeters or so where those mounting rails will be sitting on top of your roof racks. So you should have that clearance to be able to slot a bracket in, bolt it down, attach your awning, and away you go. You just might have to remove the tent first to be able to access that. But sorry, I'm not going to be able to help much more than that, unfortunately, without actually seeing the vehicle to be able to problem solve things like that. But just wanted to at least address that question.
Yeah.
Send me a photo of what you've got, and I can kind of work from there if you want through Instagram.
Yeah. So Outback Outlaw said, I've noticed how slick your vids are and wondered how many takes you would do. Yeah, it really depends on the video. If it's like an install that's in the garage, or an unboxing, or a walkthrough or anything like that, those are usually, I wouldn't say scripted, but
No, I'll approach those with a bullet point list of things I want to address, and then I'll film those a couple of times, just purely because I don't want to waste your time. If I'm watching a review video, I don't want to see someone what's the word I'm looking for, and then play around with it, because then you turn what could be a 5-minute run through into a 15-minute video that you have to kind of scrub through to get the information you want. So that's the reason I really try and plan those out as thoroughly as I can, and then I'll run through my plan a few times. It takes me forever to film those videos, especially when you factor in filming the B-roll.
I was going to say, B-roll takes a long time.
That's just what I like doing, to arrive at an end product that gets the information I want to get across in a nice, digestible amount of time.
Yeah, if you ever aren't sure how much work goes into a video, just try filming one yourself. And try and get it to the same kind of not same level, but with the amount of putting B-roll in it and splicing bits of footage in and stuff and showing all the different angles. Just doing that at any level is so time consuming. So yeah, definitely I have utmost respect for Daniel, especially after doing that rock lights video. Oh my Lord. I remember even after filming it, which was just a mission, trying to edit that, I remember going into Daniel and just how do you know where to put the B-roll? How do you know when to start the B-roll and finish the B-roll, and what B-roll to use? And then how much of it to use? And then how does that actually help? When should there be B-roll and when shouldn't there? And it was just this whole thing. And I definitely, you figure it out for yourself as you go.
I was going to say, to Bianca's credit, that video was literally conceptualized, planned, filmed, filmed and edited all by herself. I think I jumped in to help on a few things she wasn't sure how to do.
You helped with the color editing, because my computer I don't ever want to try to do that with my computer.
Yeah.
And also I don't want to learn
But
how to do it.
that video was all Bianca. So and to deliver something of that quality, having not really put many videos together before,
I have got him as a role model.
I was super impressed by what she put together.
And as a instructor, and also as a standard. And oh my God, trying to live up to this one's standard of video is very hard.
We're different.
Massive boots to fill. But yeah, we are different. But anyway, so look, we try not to do too many takes, because otherwise it ends up waffling like this.
Yeah, this is an example of what videos would be like if we just did them all off the cuff with no editing.
But we're definitely getting to a point now where we do less and less takes, and it's usually if we do a couple of takes, we're quite often using the first one anyway.
Yeah.
Or if we aren't, it's because like we actually really buggered something up, or someone sneezed or something, or the cat came me out the door.
Or Bianca got distracted.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Clouds.
You just edit that now.
Oh, no.
He's editing. Sometimes I won't see it until like the final cut, and I'll be like, "Oi, like what is this?" Like zoomed in on me doing something stupid or.
Like my favourite one, some of you guys might have seen it, was when we were on a Shark Bay steep point. It was a long day. And because I always say to Bianca, like, are you ready? I'll put the recording shot. Yeah. And I press record and I start talking and she's just like, not even looking at the camera, she's like, and just staring, completely like dead, like I look like a sausage.
I guess I was in my like coat. I was so cold, and I was just like this little face, and I was just like so.
Yeah, all you see is just like.
And then he would
little
say something,
Eskimo.
and it just happened to be you were talking about dinner, and I was like, oh yum, and like smile, but then you edited that to make me look right.
Because normally when we're talking, we have these like natural moments where I'll say something and like I just know Bianca's gonna jump in and say something there, and we just like learnt a rhythm there, and like I said something, I was like, this is where Bianca will jump in, and she was like. I was like, I guess I'll continue.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But look, we make that work. So anyway, continuing.
Yes.
Jason Stowe, congratulations on 20K. I look forward to seeing your channel grow. Thank you. Philip W said, hey guys, and then jumping down a comment said, and well done on your channel. Keep the great content coming. Enjoying from New Zealand. Awesome.
Thank you.
Love New Zealand. Haven't been there, but I like it. Jason also said, do you plan to head to Victoria, specifically the Melbourne 4x4 show?
There's a chance. I'd love to, and there is talk about organising something to hit Melbourne/Sydney 4-wheel drive shows. It's just not confirmed at this stage, so I don't want to say definitely until it's confirmed.
It's tough to get over there, especially when you look at taking the car, and then it's just like, how long is it going to take to get over there, and then what, trying to make it feasible basically is tricky. So yeah. It just depends how it all works out.
But we would love to. We'd love to hit all of them. We'd love to have done Brisbane.
We keep saying like at least
soon, but we can make that.
Daniel's probably the main one that would go to those. If I can, I will, but it depends on my teaching. And if it's if it doesn't fall in a school holiday, or if I can't afford to buy flights to get over there, then that makes it a lot trickier. Yeah. So, but I definitely would love to go, and I'll be like absolute FOMO if Daniel's over there and I'm not. I'll be like, I want to be there. What's going on?
I'll have to put Bianca on a tablet in the car. Like,
I'll just be there like it's virtually.
Can I interest you in talking about the canopy?
Outback Outlaw. I have to say that I really appreciate how much effort you put into your channel and your videos. Have you ever been asked to talk on radio or do ads? You've got the right timbre and inflection. Daniel has an exceptional voice.
I definitely don't. I get picked up on my voice on the channel.
In the beginning it's interesting, right? Because people, there's always some keyboard warriors. You take it with a pinch of salt. But there was a lot of comments talking about like how Daniel spoke and like, I don't know, like his tone of voice and the way that, I don't even know how to explain it, but.
Yeah, I guess like when you start and you're making videos on the internet, it's quite different to just having a conversation with someone. And so you'll just naturally develop a way of speaking that you think presents well on camera. And I think the first time my first few videos, I was finishing my sentences on like a downwards note. It's like, and here is the canopy. And here we put, this.
Was it downwards or
it might have been the opposite, was it? Whichever way it was. Yes, it might have been up. So people started picking me up, Bianca included, saying, you're finishing all your sentences high. You're right, it was the other way around. So then I mentally like flipped it in my head and yeah, you're right, I'll do the opposite, and I'd tail off at the end of the sentences.
That's right, and then it was like too far.
Definitely just like thinking about it too much in hindsight. Like that's where most of these things come from. You just think about things too much. And so then I started getting comments like, man, like you're really annoying to listen to because your sentences trail off at the end. I was like, oh no. And when you read that a few times, like I didn't pick it up when I was editing because I just like that's how I intended it to be, right? But after reading those comments and going back, totally see what they meant.
And it was all you could like hear as well. There was a while there where we were really obsessed with just like trying to make sure that we didn't sound too scripted or I definitely get away with it a lot more, but that's probably because a lot of the time I don't script or think about what I'm going to say. I just say it and blurt it out.
So I think I've kind of, well, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I might have found a bit of a middle ground now where it's better to listen to, and hopefully your comments like that are reinforcing that.
But in terms, go on.
Sorry, you go.
I was going to say, in terms of his voice though, he actually does, maybe you don't know it, but you do. He gets quite a few people saying like, wow, he's actually got like such a nice presenting voice, like he should do like the voice acting, not voice acting, but like, like the, radio ads and stuff.
I made a couple of TikToks back in the day, like just for fun. and like all the comments are like, "Are you a newsreader?" Or like, "You should do the airline thing, like the safety message checks."
Yeah.
That's probably not. It's a bit affected now with my cold, but
Yeah. And it also like that is part of his job as well. That's not the YouTube side, but like the video and content creation. Like some of that is.
I've had a bit of voiceover
work.
experience in that.
Yeah, so like
Yeah, nothing like official, like just because I wanted to add a voiceover to the projects I was
yeah,
working on.
Yeah, or it's just the video calls for a voiceover rather than face to face or whatever.
But sorry for digressing so much. To answer your question, the only kind of exposure to advertising as a sense is I do a lot of work for Anaconda. So you'll see on a lot of their camping or four driving videos, that's me showing off their four driver camping products. So in that sense, I've done a few ads. But beyond that, not really any other work in that space. Maybe that's somewhere to look in future if the banks are about to repossess the house.
I'm just reading through some of these, sorry. So Andrew Cowboy said, meet and greet, Bunnings Bad Ibis, sausage sizzle fundraiser for your lap. That's actually such a cool idea.
Set up like a rival sausage sizzle on the other side of Bunnings.
Not a Bunnings one. It would be like
£4, $2 sausages.
As long as I'm not cooking them, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
Not because I don't want to cook, but because I'll kill you all unintentionally. So
hopefully.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Hopefully unintentionally.
That's funny. Anyway, yeah, no, look, maybe we do a Bunnings Bad Ibis meet and greet. Philip also said, sorry, that was the other one I jumped to. Riley said, sorry, my grammar was bad. I've got 500
So he does have suspension upgrade. So with those things installed, the handling is much better compared to factory standard.
But if you were to get a GVM on top of that, I think it
wouldn't change anything.
It's just a certificate to say that your vehicle is legally allowed to weigh a slightly larger amount,
provided the 500 kilo springs you have now are eligible for that GVM upgrade. So if you have like Dobinson springs, you can't then go to Petters to get that GVM upgrade without swapping to Petters products because it's their gear that's engineered for that upgrade.
Yeah, right. They won't engineer
someone else's
not
stuff.
Petters, yeah. But I'm sure there's places that you could go that would.
Yeah, I don't know in that sense. Yeah, I mean, and also if you go to the next level, you can get things like chassis bracing, which would be a smart move if you're going to really push your vehicle to the limits. And that, I don't know how that affects the drivability of the car. I'm guessing it wouldn't, but I can't really speak to that confidently without having experienced that ourselves.
So I guess if you have current like 500 kilo springs on there at the moment, leafs.
Yeah, that'd be leafs on the rear.
Yeah, like it would depend. If they're already GVM worthy, then you're not going to get any change. If they're not, and you had to put some in that were, maybe you'd have a bit of a difference there.
But probably not. If you're swapping from 500s to 500s, you're probably not going to notice any difference whatsoever.
Yeah, minimal, I would say. Travel Solid, do you have any issues with your Bushman fridge door not sealing along the bottom if the door is full with cans of drink, etc.? Mine sometimes has a 5 to 10 mil gap.
So
no.
Yeah,
not along the bottom.
We always latch the extra little child door on it, which really keeps it pressed pretty firmly shut.
There was that, like one time we were heading down to my family's for a Christmas lunch and then we were shooting off to go camping afterwards, and we got down and it was a stinking hot day in summer.
Yeah.
And the fridge door hadn't shut properly, or it was like slightly open, and so the fridge was not at temp, and I was like, oh great, now we've got to cook all our food because we had like all our meat in there for like the next few days, and we were like, oh man. So
it was that actual day we attached this like child lock to the door.
Stole a little child lock thing from my brother's place. I was like, yoink, take one of those. No, they gave us one. And we've used that ever since, and we've never had an issue. But in saying that, it's like looking up, I've never noticed it being open on the bottom. I guess, but we also, like, if we ever put cans of drink and stuff in there, we always put them on the top shelf, and then the bottom shelf is like, we'll just have a couple of milk bottles and maybe like a couple of 600ml bottles of Coke or something. But no, never had that issue. I guess it maybe, I mean, we've got the 85 litre, so maybe if it was a bigger one, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
We said, well done, guys and girls.
Thank you.
Measured MTB said, possibly if needed for the brackets, might need to see a welder / fabricator. For the awning.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony, hey guys, the channel has been a huge inspiration for me. I bought a BT50 a few years ago, and right now I'm sitting in a campsite with my fiance in Victoria, 3 days into our big lap of
3 days in. Wow.
Oh,
what
wow,
an adventure.
surreal.
You guys must be so excited.
Goosebumps. That's crazy. Well done.
Well, enjoy. Have an amazing time.
Yeah, and if you learn anything, let us know, because hopefully that'll be us next year.
Yeah, what spare parts did you bring, by the way? Because that's something we are interested in knowing.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out, like, you can't just take, like, a spare everything. anything, but
Yeah.
surely there's a few things that you like definitely need
Belts, alternators, CVs.
that. Drive lines.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, but well done, and that's really nice to hear. I'm glad that we could inspire you guys, and look at you out there already beating us out to people
Yeah,
out. That's awesome.
yeah.
We love to see people out
That's
and
it,
about.
we're going tomorrow.
Yep, yeah, it really drives us too when we see people like out there enjoying it. I'm like, God, yeah, no, that's gonna be us, you know.
Yep.
Wild Track Weekend, congrats on the 20k sub, guys. Onwards and upwards from here. Looking forward to your next trip.
Thank you.
Thank you. Strats Weeks. Hi guys, I'm one of the first subs.
Woohoo! Wow, long time viewer.
Yeah,
Yes.
well done. God, how many years?
You would have
has it
seen the
been?
channel change a lot over your time, or hopefully not too much, but it hopefully like improve in terms of production quality and Bianca
just-
becoming part of the channel.
Yeah, going from like the Ranger to the D-Max, me going from a Maloo to an Astra.
To a Rex,
To
to
a
a
Rex,
Serato.
to a Serato.
Bianca's been through a few cars.
I finally sold the Astra. It's gone. Kind
The
of missed it,
mighty
actually.
Astra. That's
The
sold
mighty
in like
Astra.
12 hours. That
Oh
was
my
like
God, so many people with Astra. I put it up
hot
really
property,
cheap.
that
I
Astra.
think I sold it for like, what, $2,000 or something?
Yeah,
I
2,
can't
3.
remember. Honestly, it wasn't worth much more than that, so.
But it
good
wasn't worth
riddance.
that, to be honest.
Well, it was. It worked. It got you from A to B. Just how good did you want to look while doing it, and how
far
safe did you feel?
Your B was.
Yeah, no, it was fine. It makes it sound like it was going to break down any moment. You just ignore the dash lights.
It was a good car.
They're just suggestions. Sorry, it's a travelling smarty said, love Bremer Bay. I'm from Albany, so Bremer is a local beach. It's like a local
lucky.
beach. Now living in
Nice.
Adelaide. And also, what drone do you guys use?
We are using a DJI Mavic 3 Classic, which was a Christmas/birthday gift from Bianca and my family and some friends.
A year ago now.
Yeah, they all kind of
His
chipped
30th.
in to get that for me for my 30th.
'Cause he's over a year past 30.
Unbelievable drone, that thing.
Yeah,
We're
it's
coming
amazing.
from one of the original DJI Mavics, which was also
Yeah,
awesome
so
in its own regard.
Before that, we've nicknamed him John Cena because we'll explain that in a minute. But it was actually a second-hand one. So when I very first started on the mines, I actually bought a drone, a Mavic Pro. Were they even pros or just Mavics?
Yeah, Mavic Pro, that was
A
just
Mavic
what
Pro.
they were called, yeah.
Like one of the first ones out, and loved it. And then I ended
This
up
is
selling
before
it.
YouTube, we should
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, and then I sold it, and literally like within 6 months, Daniel started his YouTube channel, and I was like, that's annoying.
Yeah.
But then I ended up getting him a second-hand one for Christmas again or birthday or
Yeah.
something, and and that did us well for years. He was never quite. I say he's got a personality, this drone. He was never quite right all the way. Like
He'd have these little moments.
it just never quite flew as straight or as steady as it should, but it worked, and we got by plenty well enough. And then eventually he started to eject his battery out at great heights, and
So
then
that happened to us
to the
during
ground.
our Carragini trip. So we got a lot of nice footage, which was great, including Mount Mahari. Thank God we got
Oh
that
my
footage.
God, I would have died if you hadn't.
Very next day, we were driving along. We had it up, I don't know, like 60 meters in the air, and we
It was
drive
more. I
along
think
a
we had
nice.
like 120, and
Was that high?
we were bringing it down.
Okay, so we drive along those nice gravel roads in
Battery
Carragini.
warned because Daniel was driving and I was droning.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, the battery's just alert. And I was like, geez, that's weird. Like normally I keep a close eye and I'm sure it wasn't going flat. And I was like, all right, well I'm going to start bringing it down. I was like, crap.
She's like,
it's
"I've
actually
lost
like
it."
it's beeping. I was like, can you pull over? And he's pulling over and I'm trying to drop the drone. And then I was like, the screen's gone black. I was like, I think it's just fallen out of the
And
sky.
so I'd stopped by this point and I hopped out and look up just to see it just like tumbling out of the air. And it lands in one of the only bushes in this
Literally.
whole area. It's still like it hit it with pace and like battery went this direction. One
whole
of
drone
his
was just like-
propellers went this direction. So kind of dismantled itself into pieces. Didn't seem too structurally broken. Like the gimbal was still
Yeah, the actual drone
wobbling
itself
around
was okay. It was just
We didn't have the spare parts we needed there to
we didn't
fix
have the
it.
propellers, so we did actually. I managed to collect all 4 propeller blades, but they were one of them. I think 2 of them were like snapped and mangled, and it was like, okay, well, we
Yeah.
can't fly with that.
And the battery itself was like super swollen.
And that's what we think had happened. They were pretty old, obviously, a second hand, and this drone was a few years old by then.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it was just it had expanded too much to the point that it actually like popped itself out of the
ejected its
connection,
own battery.
and then obviously it just stopped.
Jettison battery, like.
Yeah.
But to our absolute surprise, we got home after finishing up that trip. No more drone footage, which was pretty sad for that trip.
Chucked some new propellers on and a fresh battery.
Yeah, took it off in the front yard, flew beautifully. Well, I say beautifully, it flew.
It
let's
flew.
just leave it at
It
that.
flew on a diagonal
it
most
flew.
of the time.
It had a bit of trouble staying in like a nice, constant hovering
Normally
position.
you just let them still, they'll hold themselves.
But-
They might like do this. Whereas this one was
mean-
just like, you'd tell him to still, stay still, and he'd just be like, off he'd go.
But
and just off to
honestly,
the right.
after what it experienced, we were stoked with that. Continued to use it for quite a few trips after then. I was just a bit more cautious because now and then it would do funny things.
Every time you tried to land it, normally, you know, they come
This is
down
where it got its name.
and they'll land themselves and, you know, like it beeps and then on the last like meter, it'll just gently lower itself to the ground. He would get to like half a meter and then just be like, I'm on the ground and just turn off and be like, bang, onto the ground. And that's how we ended up with the John Cena because, you know, it was like, watch out, watch out, watch out. Bam, John Cena.
Yeah. So still continue using him for quite a few trips. You guys might have seen, this is a long time ago now, I headed down Bremer Bay. The first time I was down there camping on Stream Beach and I was doing this nice like pan of the setup and then it just took off full speed straight into the side of the dunes. I had to like climb up the bank to try and get him back again. He still continued to work after that. Then took it down to do a bit of a work project down Busselton, way down south. And we knew he was doing some funny behaviour. So I
Every
was
time
like,
we flew it, we were like, this could be the last time.
yeah, and so I was like, I know for this, it's like a nice, beautiful horse property. I wanted to get some real nice high up sweeping shots. You could see the water in the background. I was like, I'll try and be smart. I thought, get it up as high as it would go, do those shots first while it's still cool, because the issue seemed to be coming about once it heated up. So I sent it up to 200 meters in the air, pulled it right back, and then lost connection. It just fell out of the sky from 200 meters, and that was its last. That was its last flight.
We did find it.
We somehow found it like upside down. Actually, not as broken as it was the first trip, but the gimbal is like on the side. One of his motors is broken.
Yeah, like we found the tracking and we found him, and yeah, he was pretty damaged, and he's now on the shelf. We haven't actually thrown him out because we actually have a lot of respect for that drone. Honestly, it was
potentially repairable.
Exceptionally good. The amount of times it crashed and still flew in a way that was usable, and the footage was still great. But yeah, and then we got the new drone, and
it's so
was
good.
amazing. We're like, wow, it flies where it's supposed to.
And the first thing I did when I tested it, and it was a bit nerve-wracking, but it has, this one has sensors all the way around, like for obstacle avoidance.
I hated it.
And so we went down to Bridgetown and there were some like roads that kind of sweep through with some overhanging trees.
We were in a pine plantation.
And so I locked it onto the vehicle, hit active track where it follows you, and just like drove in amongst all these like densely tree-ridden roads.
Hated every moment.
And it did its thing. Like I set it on obstacle avoidance. There's two modes. One will just stop, and one will actually avoid and fly around.
It avoids the last
to its credit, it just like navigated around these trees. I wanted to have that confidence to know that when I am out by myself, I can just chuck it up and trust those sensors. Whereas if you never test that stuff, you'll always be worried and you'll never use it in those situations. The drone's at a level where you want to be getting the most from it to make it worth the investment. And yeah, very happy with it. Hasn't let us down. Has captured some amazing footage. The only way it let us down actually is by this is our second one.
Yeah. No, the second drone, we had one issue with the second drone, but it wasn't, I think it was DJI knew it was an issue, and it ended up just being a warranty job where we sent it off and they sent us a brand new one back. And
no questions asked.
There was like nothing else, nothing given, but I did
and
a bit
it wasn't
of research.
crashing, it was just like it would disconnect from the controller and then just take itself home
and land again.
So that was super annoying. We missed a lot of awesome opportunities through Shark Bay to get some epic footage.
Yeah, you'll hear us in those videos sometimes complaining.
Yeah,
like,
I'd forgotten about that until
but that wasn't, I think from what I heard, it was basically like DJI. It sounded like they probably should have done a recall or something. There was like a bad batch or something. Yeah. Whether that was it or not, I don't know. But it was solved and DJI were awesome. Like it was just like, it was done within a few days and then we got that back straight away. So
correct, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway, sorry, that was a long drone conversation. We probably lost half of you.
Anyway, so where were we? What drone do we go? Yep, okay. Hi from New South Wales. Hello.
Hey.
This is CH Hill.
Yep.
Love your videos. West is best. Our son is over there and we've been there and love it. Keep it up. Congrats on the 20K.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Olivia, favourite supercar driver, MW.
Mark Webber?
Hey?
Mark Webber?
Mark Webber. I don't know. I'm not sure. You know better than me. Adrian Burnett are looking to upgrade the LED headlights.
Probably not, to be honest. When I first got the D-Max, I thought it'd be fun because the SX model, which mine is the only one of the range that has like the old school headlights, whereas all the other ones have those fancy ones. I did contemplate trying to get a set of the high model and kind of swapping them out, but I don't really mind them, to be honest. I'll probably just leave them as they are. Brightness-wise, they're fine, and as soon as it gets dark on the country roads, I whack on the spotties and the headlights are, what's the word? Redundant.
Yeah.
Redundant. That was very... I'll normally film that again.
Fort Willing in New South Wales. Well done, Dan and Bianca. This channel is going big places.
Thank you so much, mate.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Really appreciate
Thanks, Grant.
that. Adam Mack said, congrats on the 20K. Thank you for the awesome and genuine content. The Bremer Bay series was so good. Thank you.
Awesome.
Really
That's
glad.
so good to know.
Yeah.
Yep. It's hard for us, like we can be real happy with something, but you just never know what the audience perception is of something.
What we like is not necessarily what you guys like and vice versa. So
yeah.
We always appreciate the feedback. James said, thanks again, Bianca, for detailing my car. You're welcome, but also not, because it was a horrible job.
I can still see some dirt on the driveway just down
We
here.
still have like dirt stains on the road, very obviously.
It came up so nice, so.
But no, you're welcome. That was a very rewarding job. No, I'm not detailing cars for other people now. I'm in school. No.
So Bianca used to be a detailer, had her own detailing business, Bees Detailing, but she's since moved on from that. Occasionally I do get messages from people asking if she's still in the business. The answer is no.
For the most part, it's
Unless
no.
you're a very special person, so there you go, James. You tick that box.
If you ask me at the perfect time on the perfect day and it just happens to line up, then I might say yes. But nah, most people are getting a no nowadays. I just don't
including
have time.
me, by the way. I'm in the no basket.
So is my car. So. Traveling Smarty said, cheers that. I'm looking at the Mini 3 Pro. Yeah, we looked at that quite a lot too.
Yep.
I think we opted for the Mavic Pro. It was a battery life and stability and wind, I think.
Essentially, yeah, like, because where we go camping, it's like we can't predict the weather, and there's a lot of places like we definitely want to get footage, and we're there one time, so just having that extra wind resistance or the ability to actually comfortably fly it during those windier conditions are the main reason we kind of opted for that level up. In saying that, it's a massive price bump for a few features. You get most of the features with the Mini 3 Pro.
And I've heard really good things about the Mini 3 Pro. So
and I think you can take them internationally, because if you have a drone under 250 grams, so they specifically make those 249 grams, you can fly internationally and use it. You're a bit more exempt from certain regulations. Still look into it for wherever you're going, but you will get it to more places.
Andrew Carwell said, what site were you on? I think you mentioned previously you were an engineer in the former life. Yes, I was. I worked as a plant metallurgist for a while. I was down at Taliesin in Greenbushes. I was doing like drive-in, drive-out / residential down there. And then I was up at Pilgrim Minerals for a while. It's just next to Wodgina. I can't remember the name of the thing. Pilgangura. That's the one.
What?
Pilgangura.
Yeah.
That was their site name. So I was up there for a while as well, doing FIFO. Flying in and out of Port Hedland. So that was cool. It was a good experience. But yeah, just FIFO life, not for me, man. I like being home.
Yeah.
I do miss the money though. Half the pay is not nearly as much fun.
Half the pay with more hours, man. Being a teacher is
I just so many more
a lot
hours
of hours, more than I realised there was going to be, and more than I think most people would realise unless you are a teacher or you have a teacher in your life. Bianca
Keeping in mind that I'm
lots of hours.
Probably a bit of a perfectionist. I am a bit of a perfectionist. So like,
and in your first couple of years as well.
Yeah, I put in more hours than maybe some would. And yeah, like it's my first couple of years. I'm hoping it will ease off as I get more confident and get better and whatnot. But yeah. So that's where I kind of was. I don't remember the years exactly of where I was there. I was sort of in and out.
Yeah.
But yeah. Travel Solar said the DJI Mini 3 is an awesome drone. Yep, in your opinion. I agree, actually. Traveling Smarties, I've never had one before. There you go. Downtown Touring, well done, guys. Can't wait for our D-Max to look like twin to yours in a few weeks.
Oh, I can't wait to see yours. It was great to meet you at the show as well. Thank you for that.
Your episodes are the best part of the week. Cheers, DT Touring.
Really appreciate
thank you.
that.
MW is Mark Winterbottom. Oh, I should have known that. Frosty, of course. He is.
Sounds like your favourite
He
driver.
is my favourite driver. I thought you were saying yours was, and I was like, I don't know what yours is. Frosty's my favourite V8 Supercars driver. I don't follow it as closely nowadays as what I used to, but I still do follow it, and I'll 100% be there in Perth.
You've got signatures of his.
I do. I've got them on my caps. That's why I always wear that racing attire. I quite like it, but yeah, love the V8 Supercars.
You covered his track in oil before he was racing.
I dropped the piston on the track for him.
That sounds like euphemism.
Daniel Sigeti said, hey guys, congratulations on 20k. Still enjoying a June fridge. Still enjoying a June fridge and going out this weekend. Cheers. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, congratulations again. Daniel was the winner of the big June 75-litre fridge freezer combo from our Christmas giveaway.
Yep, awesome.
Yeah, glad to see it's all here, that it's still doing well.
Yeah, and Jason Stowe's also just said, where did you get your patches made? I love mine and can't wait to smack it on the dash mat when it finally comes back into stock.
Where did I get them made?
Well, while you think about it, I'll read the next comment too.
I was going to get my phone, but Bianca's got it.
Declan said, been loving your videos, guys. It's safe to say that through watching your videos, MRT will have a new customer in the distant future once I eventually get my Luxie. Here's to many more great trips. Oh, thanks, Declan. That's really great.
Awesome.
Definitely.
You'll be very happy with it.
Yeah, hit MRT up if you're wanting a canopy like ours, I guess. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Can't complain. I'm not sure where you...
I think the patches, I might be wrong, if you search promo, like, that just like the words promo, I think you'll find a website. It's an Australian, like, there's a .com.au. Yeah.
I don't know where he gets his patches from.
That's a bit...
Daniel was Daniel's pretty good in that he organises most of that stuff himself, but yeah.
Yeah, promo.
There you go, promo.
Well, that's what they're emailing me from anyway. Yeah, promo.com.au.
There you go. And they're good quality, at least, we've noticed.
Oh yeah, they're great because I was really particular in the ones that we got because some you'll see are just like a flat patch and the design's almost been like printed on it, whereas I really wanted the lettering to be like embroidered with the logo, so it kind of has like a 3D feel to it. I don't know, that's just what I really wanted, and these were a place that could do those for a decent quality.
Yeah. Oh well, they're cool. We've finally caught up on that.
Yay!
And speaking of, it's been like an hour, even though we were late to the start. Jason said, awesome, thanks. I'm not sure if it was us, but what's the plan going forward? Trips, mods, everything. Will you ever consider a van?
I bloody love van setups. I don't think it's going to suit our lifestyle
Do you mean
because...
van is in an actual van or van is in a caravan?
I think that's a good question. I was presuming he meant like like a hippie van in a way, like a combi or something like that, but maybe he means more caravan. But I'll address the van side of things first. I love seeing people's custom van fit outs, like when you have like a full bed in there, a kitchen with like a real home, like splashbacks like you do in your kitchen at home. The creativity is just off the charts with those van setups, but they are mostly two-wheel drive, so it does limit the places you can go. If you're had like a surfy lifestyle, I reckon it would suit you perfectly. Just, pull up most of those nice beaches, have good car parks, bring your board down like that. But for us, we are limited in the way that we do want a four-wheel drive to access the places we go.
Yeah.
If by van you meant caravan, which now Bianca said it's probably more
caravan.
likely.
Not anytime in the future.
You know what? It's one of those things, at least from my perspective, I always thought we'd never go down that route. We'd always just have four-wheel drive setups or maybe a camper trailer, but even that, not too keen on. As I'm getting older, as has been the running theme of this video, I have warmed to the idea, and I definitely think one day I could see us getting some form of caravan.
Yeah.
It would definitely still be something that's at least capable of off-road travel, because the places we like going are 9 times out of 10 off the beaten track or up some places you wouldn't want to tow a road-going vehicle or caravan. So maybe, I don't imagine for the next 10 years or more for us.
Oh, no.
I mean, kids would potentially complicate that, but that's not something on our radar, so...
No, so it's definitely not in the near future. As for the future, far future.
The future's future.
Like it would just depend on where our lives are at that point. But like nothing against them, but yeah, for us, we like having the freedom of not being restricted and where we can go, and not having to worry about towing stuff too, which is just handy. So, but don't get me wrong, the idea of having a bed and like an enclosed place to sleep in and get changed in and cook in and live in is really appealing. Having a toilet and a shower, like all those nice creature comforts. Just
quickly say goodbye to Outback Outlaw. He's jumping off now. Thank you so much for tuning in and for your donation earlier. That's huge.
Yes,
that's made our day.
Much, definitely.
Have a good one, and hopefully we'll see you / chat to you at some point on the road or on here. And to answer the rest of Jason's question there, we did touch on plans, but we can recap quickly. We are doing the Gib River Road mid this year, June, July area. Some more trips towards the tail end of the year. One thing I didn't mention is at the end of this month / early April, I will be doing the Holland track with Nathan from Exploring Oz, another WA YouTuber that I'm good mates with. So stoked for that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
That would just be those guys.
That'll just be us. That's just a small trip that doesn't take too long to do that track, but it's quite a historic track in WA. You probably know the one if you're a WA local into your history. So that will also be filmed and put on the channel, and we're tentatively talking about doing a lap of Australia next year.
Yep. Tentatively as in like we really want to, and it seems very possible. We just need to figure out how possible it is actually, and figure out where we would go and when we'd be there and stuff. But it's looking really, really likely, which is awesome and very exciting.
And in terms of mods, there is a bucket load to do to the D-Max / canopy moving forward. So
much, especially if we're prepping it for around Australia.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of content coming to the channel and stuff that I hope you guys are keen to see.
A different rooftop tent. Probably not.
It'd be hard to change because this one is really ticking a lot of the boxes for us. You'll never find something that ticks all the boxes. Like if this one was rear access, it'd be pretty close to ticking all the boxes. But we'll see. Anyway, I think we've pretty much come to the end now. Loved your clip on the Victron Bluetooth shunt. Maybe buy one as well. Well done on a real test on the product. Thank you so much. Yeah, that video has gone insane actually.
Yeah.
Still loving that smart shunt. One of the best things I've put in. It's one of those things I never realized how much I would use it until I installed it, and now I check everything. Like I'll plug my phone on charge and be like, how much power is that consuming? very obsessive and very easy to install. So glad that you liked that one. If you guys plan an East Coast trip, try and incorporate the Bathurst Round. We camp on top of the mountain every year. It's an experience. Oh, that'd be epic.
That's a really good point, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to plan our trip so that we just happen to be going through there at that time of the year. Oh, I'd love to go to Bathurst, which I will get there eventually one day, regardless of where I do our lap and figure it out.
Von Kurt says, love you guys. Thank you. Really appreciate you watching.
Jason said, I have to sign off now. It's only 8:30 here in Central Victoria. Thank you for being so interactive with your audience. It's the best feeling. Hope to see you out there move out one day. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Jason. Thanks for watching. And all the way over east. Yeah, we forget over here. It's only like 5:30 over here.
We've had a public holiday here in WA.
Yeah, we're crazy. It's 4-day work week this week for us. Well, not for you.
But have a great night. And thanks once again for tuning in. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, and definitely we'll catch you out there somewhere.
Anthony on spares, not taking too many spares. Oh, this is Anthony, who's 3 days into his lap, I'm pretty sure. Oil, coolant, serpentine belt, $200 for ultimate roadside assistance.
Much easier to carry than a spare chassis. Yep, definitely.
Awesome point. I think you've already got that covered, don't you?
I've got ultimate RAC roadside. I don't know how much that's going to cover in terms of... I don't know if that's ultimate care. I'm not sure if it's the same thing.
And John says, well done. Live chat was awesome. Thank you so much. I think we should probably wrap it up there.
Yeah, I think we should let everyone get going because it's dinner time somewhere in the world. And
and I'm feeling like I need some water and to relax.
And it's really hot in here. I'm really sweaty.
We should have done this in the house. It's so humid today. We probably look like we're just like sweating up a storm.
It is really humid.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in once again to the live stream. We absolutely love doing these. We'll have to put more effort into doing these more frequently than every 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah, probably should.
Yeah,
we really
or
enjoy
giveaways.
it. So, and we'll try to give you a little bit more notice too. I mean, we gave you a week, I think, just under, maybe.
I think so. I think it was a week.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We'll try to give you more than that next time.
This is the best we've ever done, I think, in terms of notice. But I'll jump up, I'll turn this off. Thanks once again. Stay tuned for more episodes coming soon. A lot's just around the corner. And once again, if you are in Perth and you're near Melville, we are going to be at the Anaconda Melville store on Wednesday.
Pop on down, say hello.
Yeah, 6 to 9 p.m. I think we're just going to bring the D-Max, chuck it in the car park, maybe set it up with the awning tent.
Sneak peek at things.
Now who's giving away too much?
Nothing. I repeated what you said.
That's true. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. I get to wave goodbye as Daniel.
Are you going to say happy camping?
Oh, yeah. Happy camping, guys.
How do I turn this off?
No, God, I want to see you